As we set to drive last morning, it was a blistering 38 degrees Celsius even on top of Lonavala, a hill station that's a favorite amongst tourists from Mumbai and Pune, and a destination that offers deserted, fast, winding roads beyond the touristy spots. It's a great setting to drive a fast car on, and certainly one that is hotter than the peak summers. In this case, the Audi RS5 coupe. In the drying landscape that is typical to this region around summers, the shiny red RS5 stands out remarkably, despite its sleeper looks. Compared to the S5 coupe that it builds on, the RS5 gets the usual paraphernalia of a sportier variant: larger air dams, wider grille and a chain spoiler up front, a wider body kit, side skirts, a diffuser in larger wheels and brakes. The RS5 also gets little grooves around the outer edges of its headlights and taillights for better aero performance, but these seem more form than function. The car also gets an edgier surfacing for the apron and the haunches, which is a nod to the boxy yesteryear quattro cars and gives the RS5 wheelarches that are wider than the base A5s, by 90mm. The bezels for the grille, the sleek chin and lip spoilers and the chunky diffuser are all done up in gloss black and create a stunning contrast with the shining red paint. Or maybe I have an eye thing for fast bikes and cars done up in red and black. The RS5 logos are in all the usual places, like the grille and tailgate. And also in some unusual places, like the fuel filler cap. If your fuel attendant notices it and recommends higher octane fuel or supplements, tip him well. You will find more of these badges on the flat-bottom steering wheel, the fully digital instrumentation, or virtual cockpit, and the leather on the sport seats. Open the door in the dark and a puddle light welcomes you with the new Audi Sport logo, reminding you that Quattro GmbH, the performance arm at Audi, is now Audi Sport GmbH. This division is headed by the flamboyant Stephen Winkleman, and you will be happy, or unhappy, to know that the RS5 isn't even remotely manic like the cars that he green-lighted at Lamborghini. The RS5 is a typical Audi in its razor-sharp design, impeccable workmanship and measured performance. The cabin does look a bit too S5 in my opinion, and I would have liked better headroom or a lower H-point in the driver's seat for easier ingress and egress, fit for an everyday sports car. The rear seats are a bit more roomier in comparison to the outgoing, first-gen RS5, but these are still good enough only for kids or teenagers. If your rear seat passengers like, they have shallow cubby holes on either end of the seat for knickknacks or smaller phones. Chances are that all that stuff will stay in place, for the RS5 isn't as tail-waggy as its direct rivals, the M4 or the C63. Their precision is thanks to the Quattro Performance all-wheel drive setup, which ensures maximum grip and its ability to transfer 75% of the power to the rear wheels. The Quattro drivetrain gets its fodder from a new 2.9L V6 petrol engine that replaces the grungy 4.2L V8 of its predecessor. Despite the downsizing, the engine still produces an identical 450 picoseconds, while the torque has gone up by a massive 170 Nm to reach a magical figure of 600 Nm. The latter comes courtesy of a bi-turbo configuration, with both the turbochargers placed within the V arrangement of the cylinders. Audi claims a 0-100 Kph time of 3.9 seconds, which is 0.6 quicker than the outgoing car. Marrying the new engine to the Quattro system is a finely tuned 8-speed Triptronic gearbox, which is ultra-smooth in its operation and very responsive to changing throttle inputs. Handy power and torque gauges on Instrumentation further highlight the prowess of this gearbox. Cruising at 100 kmph in top gear, only shows about 19% of the power and 27% of the torque, could vary as per test conditions, usage, and it goes up to about 45 to 55% when the cruising speeds start hovering around the 200 kmph mark. The RS5 can hit a top speed of up to 280 kmph, and going by how it puts power down the road and your head into the seat, I trust it wouldn't take too long to reach the car's speed limit. The RS5 has also shed around 60 kg weight, of which 30 kg savings come from the new engine alone. The front engine all-wheel drive configuration is therefore lighter than before and makes for sharper turn-ins and reduced understeer. An electronic differential further reduces the understeery nature of the quattro system, making the RS5 a fast track tool and a brilliant corner carver. If I were to nitpick, I would have liked a more communicative steering. This one feels a bit over-assisted, and while it does way up in the dynamic mode, it feels a bit artificial. Compared to the sharper gearbox and engine responses, the dynamic mode also unlocks the full-blown sound of the V6 engine, filling the cabin with a thrum at lower speeds and blowing into a throaty roar with crackles and pops typical to German sports cars. In terms of its raw engine performance and driving dynamics then, it seems right up there with the M4 and the C63, while undercutting the two on pricing. Meaning that it will all boil down to which one crunches faster lap times and imparts more driving fun. That is a story for another day.